Hey guys, it's Javi. In this video, I'm going to show you how to build your first voice agent in the Experts tab inside of FormWise. So the first thing you want to do is go to your dashboard and you want to make sure you have a notebook first because the experts, just like the smart forms and just like the co-pilots, they're going to pull from a set knowledge base. You can put everything into the prompt, but we highly recommend you create a notebook. Inside of the notebooks, again, these are like business brains. So we'll want to go in here and create a new notebook. I'm going to create a expert today. I'm going to try to almost clone myself using the experts. So I'm going to just call this Javi's brain. And I can put additional instructions here on how to use the information within here. So if you're used to adding custom instructions for a GPT or a Claude project, same concept here. I'm going to go ahead and add my framework. So I have a framework here inside of my Google Doc, and I am going to basically just copy and paste it over. You are able to upload things in terms of files. So if you want to just upload PDFs, ebooks, things like that, if you already have things organized, you're welcome to do that. You're also able to scrape a URL and scrape the YouTube transcript as well. It's in here. This is my framework on how I want the expert tool that I build to basically function and use my framework, right? So I'm going to be building a coaching tool so people can basically talk to me, right? So I'm going to name this that right there. I'm going to save that, okay? And then this is going to sync. It usually takes a few seconds, and then it's ready to go, right? So once I've saved my notebook here, I now have my expertise basically saved, and I can go and build the expert. So I'm going to click on experts here on the left side. I'm going to hit create expert. And again, this is a great way to clone yourself. This is a great way to build these sort of sub-agents of what you do to help people in all sorts of ways. So whether you're embedding this inside of your membership, it's part of a course or a book, this is a great way to sort of give people your voice. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to name Javi, and you can click this little button down here. It'll just take you step by step. And I have basically exactly what I want to create. I want to create an AI product and positioning coach that I can talk to and that I can give to my staff. So Javi is a AI product and positioning coach, okay? And then my job, I have my job here, right? I help people turn what they know into an AI-powered software they can sell. I coach the way I build, concentrate on one thing, make it work, stop chasing the next shiny object before the last one pays off. So that's the goal of the expert that I'm building, okay? And then in this specific conversation, you can have a few other sub goals here. I can paste that in there, okay? And then our system also sort of gives you suggestions just based on what your tool title is called. So, right, I want to, define a narrow MVP for the client, right? I want to create a focus roadmap, right? And I want to validate market demand for the AI solution. So I want this tool, this expert to be able to do all this. So we're going to go to the next, and then now we're going to do some guardrails. So we'll be adding a few guardrails. So I'm going to just take one at a time here. And again, our system will also recommend a few just based on the, the information you've given it so far. That way it's at least there for you. So we're going to copy this and then paste this. And again, here's a few more. I don't want it to draft any legal contracts. I don't want it to give regulatory compliance or negotiate vendor contracts, right? So we're going to continue to the next. And again, this is more subjective on how you want basically the personality to be, right? Not how it sounds, because that'll be in the next step. So here, I want to be pretty chatty, pretty casual, pretty serious. Actually more playful than serious and creative, right? So I'm going to hit continue. And then, when Javi talks, they sound like someone who is a friend that is realistic, right? And then, repeats focus first, monetize later mantra, right? So we're going to also add some guardrails here. Again, I will never, I will never guarantee model accuracy without testing. I will never offer proprietary code without attribution. And I will never promise AI will generate revenue instantly, right? And then the default. So you can connect your 11 Labs API key, and you can bring in your own voice. So if you've already made your voice inside of your 11 Labs account, you'll be able to port it over. All you need is your API key, or you can choose some from the library here, right? So you can pick one, listen, and there's a few female and male voices. So I'm just going to pick one that I've used before. And then now we can continue to the knowledge. So we can link the existing notebook. I'm going to link Hobby's Brain. Okay. And I'm going to continue to services. Again, I can link several. So, and in this scenario, I'm not going to connect any external apps, but if you did want your expert to have access to your Slack and your Google Drive and your Google Docs and create things for you, or for the end user, then you're able to do that. You are able to connect up to 1,000 different apps here. So this is pretty cool if you're maybe building something that you want to give your end user without them having to sign up for the services. I've seen people use Gamma here and connect it and have the expert create presentations for them. So there's all sorts of scenarios here. You are connecting your app here, not the end users. That's a different feature. This is org level connection. So if you're building an internal tool, this actually might be super useful. So we're not going to connect anything here. So we're going to just continue. And again, this is if you want to establish the scopes, we don't need to do that. So we're going to then run a clarification. This is going to audit everything we've put in so far and ask us a few clarifying questions to enhance the prompt and enhance basically what the tool is supposed to do. So when does the expert consider the person has achieved the one concentrated next move goal? I'll put when they've identified a product market demand. Okay. What criteria define a narrow AI MVP? Something they can build in FormWise AI. What concrete method counts as validated market demand? Oh, that's a great question. The method should have a clear pain point in a specific niche. And what metric? So it's asking a few questions. What one metric refer to, and how should the expert choose it? And again, these are going to be subjective questions depending on what you're building. What does one metric refer to? And early beta sign-ups for free. So we're going to go, and again, this will tell you what it's going to change basically in the system prompt. So we're going to continue here to the next and final thing, which is just choosing the model. You can just pick here arbitrarily or just pick the exact model you want. Again, depending on how you want your tool to actually function. So we're going to continue to the channels and we're going to publish our expert. And from here, you can actually go ahead and embed it. Of course, I would go ahead and test it here on the right. I'll show you that here in just a second. We're going to hit share. You can open it in your browser, embed it, or add it to a tool set if you're going to be bundling it with a bunch of other different tools from FormWise. So if your end user is going to use your tool, they can hit the little here voice mode here, because one's voice to text, and then it'll launch the tool. Hey, can you hear me? So as you can see, guys, works awesome. The end user will also see the transcript in form of chat. They can also chat with the expert. They don't have to talk, but that's available there for them as well. So I hope this video was useful. If you have any other questions on the experts, any feedback, we'd love to hear it. Thanks, guys.